Hey guys, Gary from Midwest Mike's here. Are you looking for a DJ for your next event? Well, call DJ Showtime, 816-260-2056. He can DJ your wedding, a special event, a bar and club event. Whether your event's large or small, DJ Showtime is your guy. He'll play music of all genres, whatever you guys want to hear, that's what he'll play. He's been DJing since 2005, lots of experience. Again, that phone number is 816-260-2056 at DJ Showtime KC34 on Twitter, DJ Showtime 3481 on Snapchat. And remember, this is Gary from Midwest Mike's. Tell him that I sent you. Contact DJ Showtime, 816-260-2056. All right, everybody, welcome in. I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
And we are Midwest Mike's coming back at you another week, another show. Another great week coming at you on a Wednesday night. We'll get this thing up tonight so you guys can hear it, so it'll officially be up. Glad to have Dre Carnegie with us. He is currently the Shawnee Mission School District Student Success Liaison. He's been coach of football here the past couple years at East, which is kind of how we met. He was a juvenile probation officer in Johnson County before that. Also been a PE teacher in Wichita, North Kansas City School District. He was the head track coach at Oak Park High School and runs the 365 track program around the Kansas City area. So, Dre, welcome to the show.
Yeah, glad to be here, man. It's only taking 45 snow days.
Yeah.
An Armageddon and an end of the world notice, but I'm glad to be here tonight, man.
Yeah, man. We've been trying to get you on here for 4 or 5 weeks, but, we've been getting some crazy weather here in Kansas City, so unfortunately, it hasn't worked out. But so I briefly kind of went through, some of the things you've done. Why don't you kind of expound on that, talk a little bit about your background and let our listeners know, what you've done and how you enjoyed it and what you've learned there.
Yeah, so honestly, guys, I'm Dre Carnegie. Glad to be here in the booth tonight at Shawnee Mission East, bringing it. A little bit about me. I'm originally from Jamaica, grew up in Canada, ended up in America on a track scholarship, ran a little time at Nebraska. And it's kind of funny, just recently got married, and my wife, who also went to Nebraska and was on the marching band team, when we were out and with people, and they always ask, hey, what's your love story? And they find out we've got this Husker connection. They're like, oh, that must have been awesome that you guys were in college together. No, my wife was 13 years old, younger than I. So when I was 14, she was 1. So that's always yeah, man, I was that old guy over there. Hey, yeah, that 1 year over there, 10 years from now, she's mine. So that's a little bit about me. Like I said, this is the 4th year doing kind of what I'm doing in the district, student success liaison, kind of like a life coach, mentor. And really my job is just to love, serve, and empower students, families, and community. It's really fun getting a chance to work with some neat kids and, just have diverse backgrounds, and then also doing some coaching as well. I know you mentioned briefly at Shawnee Mission East, and then I also coach 8th grade boys basketball, which is where I'm getting some of my gray hair from.
Yeah.
Third win again for tonight, which is awesome. And, yeah, like I said, I know you mentioned kind of a PE background, taught PE for a long time in Wichita, Kansas, and then in North Kansas City, which was awesome. And 365 track club kind of birthed from that. When I was teaching in Wichita, was really kind of struggling to get like a head track coach position, what I wanted to do. And something I realized quickly in America, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I started that program, and it's been awesome. 13 years strong, so
that's awesome. The football, that's how we cross paths here at Shawnee Mission East. We both coach freshmen with Coach Hare, who has been on the show, and I've talked a lot about him. Coach Hare is a character, man. Like that guy, he's 50 plus years old and just still going strong, and with that energy he brings every day. It's awesome. Quick shout out to them. They did beat Olathe North tonight.
Let's go.
I saw that. Yeah,
good. Which they were the number 6 team in the state. So
wow, that's a big win.
That was a big win. Coaching football. I know every day. You showed up with lots of enthusiasm to encourage our kids, which ultimately, most people that are coaching, that's why they're doing it. Because our paychecks are not very big. So. Following you on Twitter, which throw out your Twitter handle real quick. I forgot to write that down.
Yeah, so my Twitter handle is just Coach Dre SSL at that's my Twitter handle. So
so I mean, you post a lot of pictures, with mentees, kids of all ages, various races, various backgrounds, all over the district, and I mean, it's awesome for me to see that, just the reach and the impact you have just all over all these different kids, all over the district.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I said, I've been doing this for 4 years, and it's really neat because I think about my background. Here I am. I'm the oldest of 11. My mom was a single parent, did the best she could. But if I'm being honest, growing up, I never really knew my mom loved me or not. Recently got married, about 11 months strong. Shout out to my wife.
Yeah, 1 month for you.
Yeah, shout out to my wife, Cameron. She's awesome. Definitely married up. But, my mom didn't come to my wedding, and I really haven't talked to my mom in a couple of years. So, it's kind of funny because ultimately, just the idea of love, and that kids need love regardless. Just someone who's going to love them and champion them for them. So it's really I feel honored that I get a chance every day to really love on students in the Shawnee Mission School District. So,
I mean, yeah, that's awesome. Being in education, as long as I have. I mean, I started working in a school as a parent when I was 20. And, it's great that Shawnee Mission has that position that you can just go around and positively impact students. Because sometimes as teachers, we're almost too close to the fire, to really get those kids and for them to see we really are there for them.
Absolutely.
And so it's nice that, this district has that position. And I mean, you get to go to all the schools, talk to all the kids. I mean, I think that's awesome. So tell us a little bit more about your 365 track program and kind of how, if anybody was listening and they have a student that would be interested, how do they kind of get hooked up with that?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because I think about whether it's basketball or volleyball or really any sport. Every sport kind of has their club realm, whether it's AAU or whatnot. So, I also did I did for years, I did personal training, and it was, I heard a podcast once, or maybe, I don't know, I read it somewhere, but it was essentially like a Me Too business. I teach, Me Too. I coach, Me Too. I personal train, Me Too. And it's really what separates you from those Me Too things. So if I'm being honest, 36 Track Club was kind of birthed out of the longing to want to coach and then really just giving back to the sport that carries so many opportunities for me. If I'm being honest, man, I look at my high school, I was a very bad kid. I was a gangbanger, just no guidance, So, I look back, had I not come to Americana Track Scholarship, I don't really know what I would have done. So really, track was a gateway for me to get at my education and really give back. So 365 Track Club has been going about 13 years. We started in Wichita, Kansas. When I left Wichita and I came up here and taught and was at Oak Park, I knew I wanted to continue that program. And so we just started another base here. And for several years, and actually ongoing, that's what kind of makes our program kind of unique, that we have not just kids in Kansas City, but we've got a Wichita location. And honestly, our club is set up such that we've got kids from Stafford, Kansas, Ashland. So it's kind of a makeup that kids may not necessarily have a track club in their town. So I'll email them workouts and we'll meet at meets. If I'm being honest, we've had some terrific athletes. We've got athletes at KU, Nebraska, K-State, not to just mention a few, but if I'm really being honest about my club and whatnot, it's about the kids, and it's not just transactional coaching. It's not, you won, it was all about me. No, I really want to point these kids, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. We know that we live in a day and age where, a lot of kids have been through trauma or going through things, and if we're being honest, I think as adults, sometimes most of our relationships are very superficial. How's life? Good. How you doing? Good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I love when I ask someone how they're doing. They're terrible. I'm like, hey, me too. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 365 Track Club is really just if I'm being honest, it's almost like a private club. And I don't know what this podcast is about, but I love the Lord. So we really pour into kids and we tell kids, listen, your value isn't sports, whether it's track or anything. Your value comes from the Lord. And, you're not a result or a byproduct of wins and losses. There's a bigger picture. So that's really what kind of makes our club special. It's very holistic. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, kind of training that whole athlete.
Yes.
And the longer that I'm primarily a football guy, but the longer I've been in football, the more I hear coaches talk about hey, have your athletes in a track program in the spring.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of things that just carry over those fast twitch muscles.
Yes.
Coming like one thing I recently learned at a clinic, listening to a guy who's coached defensive ends at Arizona and UCLA and USC.
Right.
He said he'll have guys come out of the sprinters blocks during spring ball, just because when they're trying to get off on pass rush, that's so much like a sprinter stance, and you want them to explode out of the gate. So,
absolutely.
I mean,
that's smart. That's really smart. Well, dude, speed helps everything.
Right.
Yeah,
speed can help you in like every single sport.
I mean, even your bigger guys can throw and do the shot and disc, and they're still working different muscles.
Absolutely.
And getting that guidance, because I mean, I'm a firm believer, and I've talked about it a lot on the show, that students need to do multiple sports.
Absolutely.
Don't, especially as a freshman, don't come in and say, I'm a football guy.
Right.
Do something in the winter, do something in the spring.
Absolutely.
I mean, support your school. I mean, most high school teams, there's something you can do in every season.
Absolutely.
It's not so exclusive. And so do you guys go year-round then with the track, do indoor and outdoor?
Yeah. And, the thing about our program you mentioned about not being such locked into one sport. We've got kids that just train and use it as another opportunity to get another rep or better in their primary sport. So I want to throw it out there. Not all our kids compete every weekend or compete. They're just using it just as another opportunity to get that jump. But, yeah, so we're a year-round program. We're wrapping up indoor. We got our last meet this weekend at Pitt State. We'll take a couple of weeks off, so we'll start back in kind of end March, early April, and really that time will be all our kids who are involved in KSHA, whether you're middle school, high school. Obviously, we want to make sure that we follow those rules and adhere to those rules. And then we'll go through, March, April, all the way through July, and which is the Junior Olympics this year is in North Carolina. So, and then we'll break back in July after we get done with the first week of August for the Junior Olympics, and then we'll pick back up in September and hit it hard for the fall and indoor and outdoor and all over again. So it's kind of funny you mentioned about football players and coming out of blocks. Actually, one of my athletes, who was a former athlete, he's at Wichita Northwest, and he goes, Mr. Marcus Hicks. Have you guys heard of him?
I haven't recognized the name.
Yeah,
no.
So he's actually played at Wichita Northwest, phenomenal athlete, is now going next year to Oklahoma to play some pretty big football. So, yeah, I want to encourage, you know what I mean? I want to encourage kids, track never hurt anybody in their primary sport. You know what I mean? The worst case scenario, you can get in the best shape of your life and bigger, stronger, more explosive.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's, like I said, the longer I've been doing this, the more I hear guys talk about the benefit of running track. I mean, the more I talk to guys, college coaches that are recruiting kids, if it seems like if they're not running track, they want to know why. Mm-hmm. Like, why doesn't this kid do track? Yeah. Because, like you said, it's not going to hurt them. It's only going to help them. Right. And a tenth of a second, an eighth of a second, that can make all the world a difference.
Absolutely.
So if they can just get that coaching, because I personally don't have, coaching D-line right now. I don't have the experience to teach them how to come out of the blocks. Right. That's something I'm going to commit to learn this spring. Right. To become better for my guys. Mm-hmm. Now that I've heard it, but I was talking to a couple of our defensive ends today, and I'm like, hey, you guys need to do something in the spring. You guys need to go out for track. So
yeah. I would say this: if there's a parent listening or anybody that's interested into getting involved with the 365 program, what do they need to do?
Well, they can check out our website. It's just really simple, 365trackclub.com. We're also on Instagram, that same address. So really right now is our pre-registration. So you can email us on that page. On our website, we've got Contact Me. Like I said, I think the biggest thing is that what sets us apart is that we're not just transactional. We're poured into your kids outside of practice. We've got a daily text string that I send my athletes every single day, and that they know that I care about them outside of just our typical practice hours. So, yeah, check the website out. Check out Instagram and also Twitter. Same handle, just 365trackclub.com.
And, guys, we'll share some of those links on our Twitter. Links for the website and then Twitter handle for Dre. We'll put that on there. So if you guys want to check that out, be sure to do it because it sounds like it's a home run. So
yeah. So if you want to learn more about track or learn more about the program, check out the website definitely, and we'll make sure to put that on our Twitter and everything. So now we kind of got through the introductions. Let's just kind of sit and talk some sports.
Let's do it, man.